Hi, I'm Noah Nussbaum, the beat reporter for the Falmouth Commodores, here for a Q&A session with former Falmouth Commodore pitcher and newest St. Louis Cardinal draft pick, Kaden Echeman. Caden, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the Zoom. I appreciate it.
Yep, no worries. Just to start us off today, obviously you were chosen in the 12th round by the Cardinals. Just how did it feel to be drafted?
It was awesome. Just seeing my name called. I followed the draft tracker before the actual video like called out my name, so I knew like right before it was called out. It was just a pretty cool feeling.
Obviously you were chosen by the Cardinals, but how were your conversations with them specifically?
It was good. They called me after, and they were just really excited to have me. Um, just basically said, "Can't wait to get you down here." I fly out tomorrow, so I'll be down in Jupiter with them tomorrow, just doing all my testing and everything like that. So yeah,
Got it. And were you surprised at all that they specifically chose you?
yes and no. I didn't have much contact with them before the draft, and then kind of draft happened, and they were all like, "Let's go." So I was like, "All right, let's go."
Makes sense. And then kind of going back in your life a little bit, but when did you kind of first realize you wanted to make it to Major League Baseball and become a professional baseball player?
Probably just middle school when I would go to like I lived in Dayton, so I'd go to a lot of like the Dayton Dragons games and stuff like that. So I when I went there, I'd always get asked like, "Hey, do you see yourself playing on this field?" Like, yeah, this would be cool. And then in high school, like our state tournament game, like I pitched on like a minor league field and everything, and I was like, "This is what I want to do with the rest of my life."
That makes sense. And then moving toward college a bit, you spent the last 4 years at Northern Kentucky. Just what did you most get out of that time there?
Um, I just kind of just got taught more about like the mental game more than anything. In high school, we had a good understanding of kind of like the mental side of baseball. But at NKU, every week we'd go and we'd have classroom sessions and we'd kind of talk more and more about the mental game and just try to see how you combat just baseball in general. So, and especially life, like we did a lot of talking about life in there. So I probably learned a lot, just like how to get out of my shell and just be
Mhm.
like that.
Got it. And then obviously one of the biggest parts of your time at NKU was undergoing Tommy John in 2024. But just how do you think that rehab went and how do you think you've bounced back so far from that?
I think it was good. I tell a lot of people before TJ, I was a thrower.
Hmm.
And after TJ, I was a pitcher. TJ helped me just like, it helped me understand the game because I never really sat there and studied pitching or thought like, hey, what's probably best for my career pitching wise? Because when I got to NKU, like I was fresh out of hitting and like I like always wanted to do both, but obviously that never worked out. And so like my freshman sophomore year, I just never really dove into the pitching side of baseball. And then I had TJ, and it was kind of like a wake up call, like, hey, you better figure out like what you're doing with pitching because if you don't, like, you're not gonna make it far. So when I had TJ, like I started diving into like everything and just like numbers, metrics, videos, stuff like that. Just watching everything that I can, anything and everything, watching podcasts and stuff like that. So I would just say TJ, like the rehab process was really good. I was hammering it every day, like I know a lot of people do. Obviously, I came back a little bit stronger, but more so just like the pitching side of things is kind of like the pitching IQ part is kind of what hammered me the most coming back from TJ.
Moving on from that a bit, but you did, recently transferred to Kentucky. I guess just first, why did you choose Kentucky?
Yeah, I mean, I when I entered the portal during the season, um, obviously I was talking to a decent amount of schools, and Kentucky, they were one of the schools. A lot of schools said, "Hey, if you come here, you're going to tell a lot of teams no in the draft. Like we want you to come here, and if you're on the portal and you're going to commit to us, then that means you're committing to us and not a pro team." Whereas UK, like one of their biggest things was like, "Hey, we would love to have you here. If something in the draft doesn't work out, like this is always a home for you." And I called Coos like a little bit after I got drafted. He's like, I'm so pumped for you, like congrats, like all this stuff. And like you can just tell everything that they're doing there is so genuine and like they care about the person more than the player. Obviously they want an Omaha caliber team, but like they want Omaha caliber players, like and personalities that like will mesh and not have like a terrible culture. So everything that they did and everything that they stand for is kind of what made me push to like say, hey, if the draft doesn't work out, I want to be going to UK next year.
And I know you talked about it briefly, but I know it's a big decision, but have you thought a lot about going back to school versus going to the Cardinals?
Um, it was slight when draft was happening, but I got called and I got picked, and I was like, I'm going to the Cards. I'm not going to go back to school.
The last topic I wanted to hit on was Falmouth, but you had a 2.25 ERA and four starts. Just what were you kind of looking to get out of that experience going in?
Uh, Partially draft stock, obviously going into the Cape. I played at a mid major, so wasn't too heavily scouted and recruited. So going in the Cape, I just knew it was like an awesome experience, especially and an awesome opportunity just to like just go and play against like the best players in the country and guys that are going to be first, second rounders in the next couple of years. But two, just like I knew if I went there and performed, it would only help my case even more. So going to the Cape, just coming to Falmouth, I just had a goal in mind of just I'm just gonna do what I do and just try to improve my stock the most I can.
One of the biggest things kind of going into this season for Falmouth was obviously Jared Saltamacchia, former MLB
Yeah,
veteran, coming in as new field manager. Just how is it for you to be coached by him this year?
it was awesome. He's obviously you watched a lot of games. Like I like right when I figured out like he was our coach,
Mm.
I told one of our guys that in KU, and he's like, "No way." And so I kind of went back and like kind of watched some YouTube videos and just watched them a little bit. But just like seeing how he coached and seeing how like a big league team, that's how a big league guy will carry himself. And it just went a long way for me, just knowing that like you have a guy there that cares about winning, but like he also cares about you. And coming from a big league manager in a sense, like it was really cool. And just being able to talk to him about life, talk to him about the pros, like what kind of life's like, or like right when the draft was happening, I asked him a question or two right before I left. And,
Hmm.
just full knowledge and just he was so willing to just hand it out like it was nothing. And I was so appreciative of that.
I'll leave you off with this. Just you've talked about it a bit, but overall, how was your experience with the Commodores?
I loved it. I've heard a lot of stories about summer teams and all this, and a lot of guys say that like summer is truly the best time of year because it's warm baseball year round. Like at NKU, I almost half our season was less than 40-degree weather, so it wasn't great. But just being in the Cape, being in Falmouth, it was awesome. My host family was awesome. I love them. Kevin, Priscilla, shout out.
Hmm.
But they were awesome. So just every part of being in Falmouth to me was amazing. And I also love the fact that it was like you have to put in what you want out of it. So like if you want to go lift, you go lift. If you want to throw, like go throw. Like your career's in your hands. But Falmouth gave me the resources with like Salty or TC or DFAB, just like with all of those guys to like just understand what I need to do to prepare for my next start or like just be as good as I can.
Got it. Well, that's all I had. Just wanted to thank you again for hopping on, Caden.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.